Hello everybody, welcome back to My Slice of Heaven Outdoors. I'm Joey. Today I'm going to be making a venison enchilada recipe. I had seen my friend TNDeer Stalker Outdoors. He made a venison enchilada, and I was telling him that we had a very similar recipe, and he showed a little interest in seeing how we did ours. If you've never seen his video, I'll post a card up here. You can click on it and check it out. And just stick around and come along, and I'll show you how I make our easy venison enchilada meal. Well, if you're still here, that means you want to see how we do our venison enchilada meal. This is a very easy recipe. It only requires 4 ingredients. I will be doubling and or tripling ours. I think I'm just going to double it tonight, but I will give you the recipe as if it was just a single batch, or whatever you want to call it. But the 4 ingredients are right here on the counter, so come over here and take a look at these. The recipe calls for 1 pound of ground venison. This is from the deer we got from our property last season. Calls for picante sauce, sharp shredded cheddar cheese, and flour tortillas. So stick around, I'll show you how to put this together. First thing we're going to do is brown up the venison in a large skillet. And we're just going to chop this up and stir it around until it gets brown. So it's cooked all the way through. If you didn't see the hunt last year where I got this deer off our property, I'll put a card up in the top left corner there, and you can go back and check that out if you'd like to. I actually got this recipe from cookbook that one of my kids gave me for either Christmas or birthday many years ago, and this recipe was in there, and we have actually made this recipe, the same exact recipe the way we're making it tonight. We've actually made it with pulled pork, brisket, smoked chicken, so you can switch out any meat you'd like. And I will come back when the meat is thoroughly cooked. Alright, it's getting there. A few more minutes and it'll be ready for the next ingredient. Alright guys, this is pretty browned up. We're getting ready to move on to the next ingredient. And I don't think I ever actually told you the exact ingredients or exact measurements, but there was 1 pound of ground venison. And like I was saying earlier, you can substitute this with pulled pork, brisket, chicken, smoked chicken. You can even use ground beef if you don't have ground venison. So 1 pound of ground venison, 16 ounces of picante sauce, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. We've also used other cheeses. We've used like Colby Jack and stuff. And you'll need 12 corn tortillas, or flour tortillas, I'm sorry. This next step actually calls for a half of cup of picante sauce, but since I am making a double batch, I will be putting in roughly 1 cup of picante sauce. I'm not going to measure it out, I'm just going to eyeball it. Save myself from having to do some extra dirty dishes. That's probably half a cup. And that's probably another half a cup. And we'll just stir this around and I'll take a look at it. If I think it needs a little bit more, I'll add a little bit more. And yes, I can definitely tell it's going to need a little bit more. And I don't don't know if you noticed or not, but there was no extra seasonings for this meal. All the flavor comes from the picante sauce and the whatever actual flavor of whatever the meat is you're putting in there. Like I said, we've used smoked meat in this before, and it's really good. And now we're going to give this a minute to warm up, and we'll be back with the next step. You kind of want it to look like a tight sloppy joe, I guess, consistency. Now at this point, if you wanted to, you could also add like chopped onion, chopped green peppers. Sometimes we do that. Tonight I'm not choosing to do that. We're also going to put in one cup of sharp cheddar cheese. I'm making a double batch, so I'm roughly going to put in 2 cups. Very easy meal to put together if you're in a rush one night. And everybody, that is it for the filling. And we'll get back to you in a minute and show you how to put all this together. I have my glass baking dish, and I sprayed it with some cooking spray. The next step you're going to do is take some of your picante sauce, put it on the bottom, get you a spoon, and just spread it out a little bit. And guys, next step we're going to put, it says about 2 tablespoons of filling. Just use your own judgment. 2 tablespoons in my opinion is not very much. And that right there is probably too much. Yeah, that's definitely too much. Let me take a little bit of back off of that one. And just roll it up. I like to roll it over, squish it back. And I do not close the ends, I just leave them open. And we set them down in there. We're going to do that as many more times as we can to fill up this pan. I think it should hold 12. And because I am very limited space right here, I'm going to turn you guys off so I can move the camera. Let me do one more in case I was in the way when I was doing that. Again, you just put it on there. I like to roll it over, then squish it back, and roll it up. Put the seam side down. And we'll do that 9 more times till we fill up this pan. You can see I got 12 of them in the pan. The next step is just to pour a little bit of the picante sauce over the top. Now you could use green sauce, red sauce if you liked, enchilada sauce, but this recipe just calls for the picante sauce. Now I did have a little bit of the mixture left in the skillet, and I'm just going to pour that over the top also. I actually had a pretty good bit left because usually I make a pan and a half of this, but tonight I'm just going to do a pan. Usually it would not have this much filling on the top of the enchiladas. Like I said, I would have just made a couple more, put them in another pan, but I forgot our other pan is still a little dirty from a meal made last night. Still has leftovers in it. And then you top it with the shredded cheddar cheese. And that's it, guys. Then it goes into the oven. At this point, your oven should have been preheating at 350. Then this right here is done. It'll go in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes or so, and then it's done. Just serve it up. Usually we have some sort of rice mixture to go on the side. It's been 22 minutes. That is looking good. I'm going to give me a hot pad. Oh boy, that looks good. Well guys, that was it for the our easy venison enchilada recipe. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope you'll consider giving it a try. And don't forget to head on over and check out TNDeer Stalker Outdoors and check out his venison recipe. Remember, I left the card in the video. I'll also leave a link to that video in my description. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a great day.